Chosen one, before you watch the rest of this video, you need to understand one thing clearly. What you are about to hear is not meant for everyone. Only a very specific group of people will feel this message in their chest the moment the words are spoken. Only a few will recognize themselves in what's coming next. And if you're here right now, it's not an accident. You were pulled into this moment for a reason. Because something happened to you before December 11th that most people around you never noticed. Your energy shifted. Your intuition sharpened. Your spirit started reacting to things you couldn't explain. Life felt strange, different, almost as if something was building behind the scenes, preparing you for a moment you didn't even see coming. This wasn't coincidence. It wasn't confusion. It was the universe quietly rearranging your timeline, testing you, isolating you, and awakening something inside you that was never meant to stay asleep. And now you're standing at the edge of a transformation that only the chosen ones were meant to experience. If you've been feeling changed, detached, stronger, or strangely calm, even in chaos, then you're about to discover exactly why. Before we reveal the full truth, I want you to do one thing, not for me, but for your own clarity. Comment below if your spirit has been sensing something big approaching, because only some chosen ones are meant to know this message. Your comment is your confirmation that you're one of them. Now, let's begin. December 11th is not simply a date passing through the calendar. It is a pulse point in the universe, a hidden energetic gateway that opens only for those who are meant to rise during very specific cosmic cycles. And this year, the portal is stronger, deeper, and more precise in its purpose than ever before. This alignment doesn't just shift energy around you, it rewrites the energy within you. On December 11th, an ancient frequency activates, a vibration that strikes your spiritual DNA with enough force to rearrange everything you thought was fixed, stuck, or unchangeable. It is the kind of reset that touches the core of who you are, not the surface of your life. And like all profound transformations, it does not arrive quietly. The reset enters the soul like a soft earthquake, not loud enough to overwhelm you, but powerful enough to make you feel a shake deep within your intuition. You may have noticed signs without realizing what they meant. A strange heaviness the night before. A sudden emotional purge that left you unable to explain why you cried, snapped, or went silent. A surprising sense of peace that didn't match the chaos in your outer world. A growing anticipation, a feeling that something unseen was preparing to break open. These weren't random moments, they were signals, symptoms of a cosmic reboot that began long before your conscious mind caught up. For months, even years, you've been carrying things that were never meant to remain with you. The universe has been preparing you for this reset by slowly showing you everything that has expired in your life. Old attachments that drained more than they gave. Old versions of yourself that grew too small for the person you are becoming. Old fears that once protected you, but now limit your potential. Old emotional patterns that once made sense, but now only slow your evolution. This frequency burns through them. The December 11th portal doesn't politely ask you to grow. It pushes you into a higher timeline. But here is what makes this portal different from the others you've experienced. Most people will not feel this shift. They are too distracted by noise, too overwhelmed by the physical world, too disconnected from their own intuition. They will walk through December 11th as if it were any other day. But not you. You feel the tremor in the unseen world before it becomes reality. Your sensitivity to invisible shifts is not a weakness. It is the sign that you belong to the few who are chosen to awaken early before the rest of the world notices what has changed. This cosmic reset is not here to cleanse your life in the surface-level way people talk about. It is not here to tidy your emotions or gently rearrange your path. It is here to reposition you, to move you into timelines that match the vibration of your soul, to restructure your inner world so you can hold new power, new clarity, and new destiny, to rewrite the blueprint of your future so it finally aligns with the identity you have been growing into in silence. And there is one truth you must absorb fully. Once this reset begins, there is no going back. Old cycles lose their power, old limits fall away, old fears lose their grip, old relationships either evolve or disappear, old identities dissolve as quickly as they come to the surface. Nothing and no one can stop your rise once this reset is activated. Not the past, not people, not circumstances, not doubt, not delay. December 11th marks the moment where destiny no longer waits for you. It starts moving with you. The universe is no longer silent. Your path is no longer stagnant. Your transformation is no longer theoretical. You have stepped into the corridor where timelines accelerate, doors unlock, and everything that was once blocked begins shifting in your favor. The reset is not coming. It has already begun, and your rise from this point forward is inevitable. On December 11th, something rare happens in the energetic field. A vibration moves through the unseen world, quiet enough that the masses overlook it, yet powerful enough that every awakened soul feels it press against the heart. Most people will walk through this day unaware that anything has shifted, but the chosen ones feel the change like a subtle tightening in the chest, a warmth spreading through the ribs, a sudden pull toward the unseen. It feels like an invisible presence leaning close, speaking softly, not in sound, but in sensation. It is subtle, it is gentle, but it carries enough force to redirect your entire destiny. The message it whispers is simple. It is time. Those 3 words carry a weight that most of the world is not prepared to understand. But you are, because you have spent years preparing for this moment without even knowing it. Time for what? Time to step into the version of yourself the universe has been shaping in silence. Time to release the identities you outgrew long before you were brave enough to admit it. Time to stop making yourself smaller so others don't feel intimidated by your light. Time to stop delaying the calling that has been tugging at your spirit since you were young. This whisper does not communicate through language. It communicates through alignment. You don't hear it with your ears, you recognize it with your intuition. It shows up as a sudden burst of clarity, a powerful knowing that cannot be logically explained, a wave of emotion that releases years of pressure, chills that run across your arms when nothing physical has changed, a moment where your mind goes silent and your soul speaks louder than your thoughts, a sudden urge to clean, reorganize, begin something new, or walk away from something old. These sensations are not coincidences. They are confirmations. This whisper is a direct message from the higher realm. Your guides, ancestors, spiritual protectors, and the divine intelligence that governs your timeline. They are signaling that the next stage of your destiny is being activated faster than your human mind can process. You have been in preparation far longer than you realize. Your soul has endured a quiet pruning phase, removing attachments that weakened your power, stripping away illusions, revealing truths you spent years avoiding. You are being recalibrated, refined, and strengthened. But December 11th marks the shift where the preparation ends and the becoming begins. The whisper becomes louder, more insistent, and impossibly clear. You are rising beyond who you used to be. And you feel it. You can sense the release of old cycles, as if doors that once trapped you emotionally are suddenly unlocked. You can feel the loosening of karmic loops that once repeated endlessly, now dissolving because you no longer resonate with them. You can sense yourself being spiritually removed from environments that could not contain the next chapter of your evolution. This whisper is sacred. It is not just a message, it is an initiation, a confirmation that your old self cannot travel with you into the next phase of your journey. It is a warning and a blessing wrapped into one moment of higher truth. The warning: if you ignore the whisper, you will feel tension, resistance, and internal conflict. Your soul will not allow you to shrink anymore. The blessing: if you trust the whisper, everything accelerates. Doors open, healing deepens, opportunities align. Your purpose becomes magnetic. The whisper is telling you that a new version of you is emerging, not gradually, but rapidly. It is telling you that the world around you will sense your energetic shift before you fully understand it yourself. People may react differently. Circumstances may move suddenly. Your intuition may sharpen overnight. This is not instability, it is ascension. The divine whisper of December 11th is the moment your higher self steps forward and your past self steps aside. You are not just changing, you are becoming who you were always meant to be. There is a truth about transformation that most people never talk about. A truth so real, so universal, and so spiritually precise that once you understand it, everything you've been feeling suddenly makes sense. Before a major breakthrough, life rarely feels peaceful or organized. Before destiny shifts, the world around you begins to feel unfamiliar. You don't get clarity first. You don't get comfort first. You don't get understanding first. Transformation begins with confusion. It begins with the unraveling, not the rebuilding. In the days, weeks, or even months leading up to December 11th, you may have felt this unraveling without realizing what it meant. You may have felt lost without knowing why, as if something inside you was searching for a door that hadn't opened yet. Drained around people who once felt comfortable, because their energy no longer matched your rising frequency. Disconnected from routines that used to feel normal because your soul was preparing to exit outdated cycles. A need to isolate yourself, not out of sadness, but out of instinct. A strange emotional distance from situations you once cared deeply about. A sudden craving for silence, stillness, and space, even when others didn't understand. These experiences were not signs of failure. They were not signs that you were falling behind. They were not signs that something was going wrong. They were signs of activation. Chosen ones do not shift softly. They do not transform gradually. Their evolution arrives like a spiritual earthquake, quiet to the outside world, but unmistakable in the soul. Your spirit was reorganizing itself in preparation for this cosmic reset. While your mind was questioning what was happening, your higher self was already aligning with what was coming. Your intuition picked up the shift long before your logic did. This is why you felt waves of discomfort without a clear explanation. Here is the deeper truth. Your spirit knew the transformation was approaching before your thoughts even sensed it. The restlessness, the misalignment, the emotional heaviness, the sudden clarity followed by confusion. It was all part of a divine recalibration. The universe was removing everything that could not travel with you into this next timeline. It was pulling you away from connections that drained your purpose, closing doors that you kept trying to reopen, silencing environments that kept you emotionally stagnant, highlighting energies that no longer fit your identity, breaking patterns you outgrew but were still holding on to. You were not breaking down, you were breaking open. That difference is everything. You weren't losing yourself. You were shedding versions of yourself that you've already outgrown. You weren't being abandoned. You were being redirected. You weren't being punished. You were being prepared. Before the greatest expansions of your life, your old timelines must collapse. Old energies must detach. Old versions of yourself must fall away. This is why December 11th feels like a turning point. Because what felt like your life falling apart was actually your life making space. Space for clarity, space for alignment, space for breakthroughs, space for miracles. Nothing was leaving your life without purpose. Nothing was shifting without direction. Nothing was collapsing without something stronger, rising in its place. You didn't go through the storm to drown. You went through the storm to become unrecognizable to the version of yourself that once settled for less. The suspense you felt wasn't fear. It wasn't instability. It wasn't uncertainty. It was prophecy. It was the universe signaling to your spirit that a new timeline was opening, one that finally matches your truth, your strength, and your potential. You were sensing the future before seeing it, and now that future has arrived. The confusion is lifting, the weight is releasing, the path is clearing. Your transformation didn't begin on December 11th. It was simply revealed. Chosen one, understand this clearly. The universe is not resetting your life simply to make you stronger or wiser. Strength was only the beginning. Wisdom was only the preparation. This reset is positioning you for something far more profound, something sudden, something divine, something that will feel like a twist in your story so precise that you will know instantly it was never random. Most people experience change gradually, but the chosen ones experience transformation through moments. Moments that redefine everything in an instant. Moments where destiny steps directly into the physical world. December 11th activates the exact energetic conditions for such a moment. This cosmic reset is not just cleansing your path, it is rearranging it, rerouting it, and opening doors that were impossible to access before. And during this transition, the universe prepares to send you what only those aligned with this frequency can receive. A breakthrough that arrives without warning. A blessing that feels too precise to ever be labeled a coincidence. A connection that alters the direction of your future. An opportunity that matches your evolving identity with uncanny accuracy. A release from a person, habit, or pattern that once kept you trapped. The beginning of a new chapter that feels like it was written with your soul as the blueprint. This twist, the miracle twist, serves a powerful purpose: to remind you that your life is not unfolding at random. It is unfolding according to a divine orchestration you could never have fully understood until now. The delays were not dead ends. They were protection from timelines your spirit had already outgrown. The losses were not punishments. They were redirections toward paths that carry your true purpose. The confusion you walked through was not a sign of weakness. It was the energetic realignment required before receiving what is meant for you. And now, finally, your timeline is ready. The miracle begins to move toward you. You may first notice it in subtle ways, A message arriving at the exact moment you needed clarity. A chance encounter with someone who plays a pivotal role in your next chapter. A door that once closed on you reopening, but this time with a better path behind it. A solution appearing in a way that dissolves years of worry. A shift inside you so profound that your perspective, decisions, and energy change instantly. These are not accidental signs. They are the opening notes of what the universe has been preparing behind the scenes. Because the truth is simple. You were never waiting for the miracle. The miracle was waiting for you. It needed you to shed old energy. It needed you to release outdated identities. It needed you to walk through your storms until your spirit expanded enough to hold what is coming next. That is why it did not arrive earlier. Not because you weren't worthy, but because you weren't ready in the way you are ready now. December 11th marks the moment where energetic readiness meets divine timing. This miracle twist is not just about external change, it is also about internal elevation. Because when destiny accelerates, it does not merely change what is around you, it changes you. It awakens a new level of clarity. It ignites a deeper sense of purpose. It strengthens intuition. It removes emotional fog. It aligns your identity with the future you are stepping into. What comes next will not only surprise you, it will validate every moment of struggle, every tear shed in silence, every night you questioned your path but kept moving anyway. This shift is your confirmation that you were never abandoned by the divine. You were being rebuilt, you were being rerouted, you were being held in place until the exact moment when your miracle could arrive without being sabotaged by old wounds or old timelines. The miracle twist ahead will not just change your circumstances, it will change your direction, your confidence, your destiny. And when it appears, you will understand why everything before this moment had to happen exactly as it did. Chosen one, this is the part of the message that is going to settle deep inside you, because it speaks directly to your soul, not your circumstances. What you are stepping into after December 11th is not just a shift. It is not just a fresh start. It is not just a new phase. It is a complete unlocking. Your transformation is not something you are waiting for. It is not something that might come someday if things finally go right. It is something that has already activated within you. You are already becoming the version of yourself that your past was never ready for. That is why this moment feels different. That is why your energy feels unfamiliar. That is why your vision feels clearer, even if your environment hasn't fully transformed yet. December 11th is the spiritual click, the moment the lock opens, the moment your path stops resisting you and starts revealing itself. If you've been feeling stronger lately, it's not random. If you feel strangely calm, even while life is shifting around you, it's a sign. If you feel detached from old fears, old wounds, old identities, that is not numbness, that is elevation. You're not losing yourself. You're meeting your higher self. Your spirit knows something your mind is only beginning to catch up to. You are not the person you were even yesterday. This reset is the beginning of a higher identity, a higher frequency, a higher purpose, and ultimately, a higher destiny that was always meant for you, but could only activate once you grew into it. Now begins the phase where your gifts sharpen naturally, your intuition becomes louder, your clarity becomes undeniable. Opportunities that once felt blocked suddenly feel possible. Situations that once drained you no longer affect you the same way. You're not just healing, you're evolving. You are stepping into the version of yourself that carries power without fear, purpose without confusion, and confidence without apology. For the first time in a long time, your destiny has a green light. Doors that once refused to open will not only open, they will open smoothly. Paths that once felt heavy will suddenly feel aligned. Choices that once felt impossible will become clear. The fog is lifting. The resistance is fading. The universe is clearing the way for you. This is the timeline where your power comes back online, where your confidence rises in ways you cannot explain, where your purpose begins revealing itself piece by piece, where your blessings accelerate because you are no longer dimming your own light to stay comfortable. And as you rise, your protection grows stronger as well. The situations that once drained you will fall away. The people who were never aligned with your purpose will quietly distance themselves. The battles you once struggled with will begin to lose their power. You are not being pushed anymore. You are being guided. The universe is not whispering hints or subtle nudges. It is declaring loudly and unmistakably that your time has come, that you are ready, that this is the moment everything changes. You are being unlocked. Your spiritual potential, your inner strength, your hidden gifts, your future destiny. Everything that was once waiting behind the door is now within reach because the lock has opened. You are stepping into the chapter that explains why every previous chapter felt heavy, confusing, or delayed. This new phase will bring clarity where there was doubt, breakthroughs where there was resistance, and elevation where there was stagnation. This is not where your story ends. This is where your story begins to make sense. This is where everything that broke you becomes everything that builds you. This is where the pain you carried transforms into wisdom, power, and direction. This is where you stop surviving and start rising. Chosen one, the unlocking has already started. Your real transformation begins now. Chosen one, if you've made it to this point in the message, then it's already clear. You are meant to hear every single word. The shift happening around you is not random, not accidental, and definitely not a coincidence. December 11th is not just a date in time. It is a threshold. And once someone crosses it with awareness, nothing in their life stays the same. You may not feel the full transformation yet, but the energies moving through your life have already begun rearranging everything. People who no longer match your vibration are quietly drifting away. Old fears no longer grip your mind the way they used to. Even the challenges you face now feel different, almost as if they no longer have the power to define you. This is the early stage of transformation, and it often feels subtle, but its effects become louder every day. Something inside you is waking up. You can feel it in the small choices you're starting to make, the conversations you're no longer interested in, the habits that suddenly feel heavy, and the clarity that keeps rising even when life feels chaotic. That is the mark of a chosen one stepping into alignment. As this cosmic reset unfolds, watch your life closely. You will notice opportunities appearing with perfect timing, people entering your life with unexpected purpose, and answers arriving exactly when your spirit calls for them. The delays that once frustrated you are dissolving. The confusion that clouded your path is clearing. You're stepping into a version of yourself that you were always meant to become. The universe is closing the chapter where you carried unnecessary weight and opening the one where your gifts finally activate. You're moving into a phase where your intuition feels sharper, your inner strength feels deeper, and your decisions feel guided rather than forced. That shift is not imagination, it is alignment. Before this video ends, Take a moment to acknowledge this truth. You are not the same person you were yesterday. You have outgrown the version of yourself that settled, doubted, or feared the unknown. You're stepping into a timeline where your destiny finally meets you halfway. And now, as you move forward, remember this final message. You are entering a chapter where your transformation becomes visible, not just to you, but to everyone connected to your journey. Your life is about to reflect the power you've developed in silence. Your path is opening, your purpose is awakening, and your story is about to unfold in a way that proves the universe has been guiding you all along. Your transformation has already begun.